Hi, friends. My name is Rebecca McLean, and I'm the co-creator with Dr. Roger Yanka, the Circle of Life coaching system. And we wanted to let you know of a couple of great opportunities that are available to you now to experience being coached through our process or possibly becoming a holistic Circle of Life coach. So I know that 2020 has been basically a nightmare and super challenging, beyond challenging. And I do want to say that even though we've had our plans and they've fallen apart and we can't really plan for this, I want to share a couple examples of some people who use the Circle of Life coaching process for themselves in their life, even though they were going through these really unplanned challenges. So Carol was in a Circle of Life coaching process where I was leading a group about 15 years ago, and she had breast cancer, and she's been completely well and thriving since then and continued to use the process. Well, about 6 months ago, her house burned down in Northern California. She lost everything. She's a single woman. Her business burnt down. She was working at a business that burnt down. So she had no job, no house, no belongings. And she said she just started using the Circle of Life process as she had been continuing to use it. And what happened for her is that she said the mind-body practices really helped her body and to de-traumatize and to move some of the grief and fear that was coming up in her system. And then she used the step-by-step process that we do in the Circle of Life process to start moving forward in her new life. So she ended up moving to Montana by a river, which she always wanted to do. And she got a job working at a veterinarian clinic, which she loved animals. And she began a breast cancer survivor group. So she began already making a tribe of friends, and she's 60 years old. So sometimes people feel like, oh, she had to leave all her friends, but she used this process and, about 6 or 7 months turned her whole life around from catastrophe. Another person who used it, the Circle of Life process, in the beginning of 2020, he worked at a bank. He was, and his bank office, was starting to close, and they were reducing hours, and he still needed to generate income for his family. So he used the Circle of Life process to develop a new business, and he developed a business to teach people how to grow organic food, like to have a home garden. So he would go to their houses and set it up and dig and plant and tell them how to do it. And then he had products. And he said he makes more money doing that than he does working at a bank. So he took that challenging time of losing income and creating something new that he loves. Another person named Susan, she was going through a lot of fibromyalgia, and she really was just tired of being in pain. And she just felt low energy and brain fog, and she just really wanted to change her life. So she started a year ago, and she really prioritized her self-care and her health care. And she started doing practices and doing things that really helped her whole system. And a year later, she says she's pain-free and she's got lots of energy, and she wants to help other people with the same situation. So she took a time, and she said, 2020 was extremely stressful for her and her family members, and she felt like she has the resiliency to support them. And she also got COVID. One of her family members had COVID, and she got COVID, but she had been working on her immune system and enhancing her life force energy with Qigong and diet and moving and rest and inner work that she was doing. So she got it, but she just sailed through it. She hardly had any symptoms because her body was so vital. So there's another example, even during these hard times, the changes that people can make. Another woman named Alexandra, she wanted to organize her house. She said her life was just full of clutter. She said she had clutter in her mind, clutter in her house, clutter in her office, just clutter in her life. And she just really wanted to clear the clutter. So a year ago, she did the Circle of Life process, and she took one drawer a week or one box a week, and she committed to 1 hour a week to clearing and organizing, throwing away, recycling, whatever it was. So 52 weeks later, just in 1 hour for those 52 hours, a year later, she said her house is beautiful and zen. Her office is clear. She said she's never been more organized. She feels this spaciousness. She knows where to find things. And so it was a step-by-step process. It wasn't like this big, huge thing where she tore her house apart. Just each week, 52 weeks, she took like an hour to an hour and a half to work on her clearing. And she says she has so much more peace and energy, and she's able to manage her life so much better. So if any of those kinds of things are something you want to experience, you want to have that transformation, that breakthrough, that change, that improvement, this is the perfect process to do for that. So that's phase one. We have 2 phases in our program. Phase 1 is just experiencing going through the process for your own life. And it's really great too, because if you go through the process, you can share it with your friend or your family member. You can go through it together, because once you do it, you'll have the forms and you can share it with others, your coworkers, and you'll find that it's very powerful and a wonderful way to spend time with our loved ones and friends and family. So you have that ability to share it with others. So that's phase 1. Now, phase 2 is if you want to become a Circle of Life, holistic life coach. So phase 2 is where we teach you these really great and effective coaching skills that you can use. The Circle of Life process is a very step-by-step process, holistic, looks at your whole life, includes mind-body practices, self-care practices that really enhance your capacity to make a change and to be healthy and to be grounded and to be clear-minded. So there is phase 2. Now, if you want to become a coach, you need to go through phase 1 and phase 2. So there's a lot to say about it, and there's just more information. If you look below, there's a webinar that we take you through a couple of the processes of the Circle of Life, so you can see whether you're interested for yourself or you're considering being a coach. Then there are some PDFs that list, the prices and what's covered in the program, and that's the links below too. Then another really great thing is we have referral partners, and you get referral rewards. So if you refer someone to the phase 1 program, you receive $200. If you refer someone to the entire program, somebody going to become a coach, you receive $400. So what a great way is you're serving people by empowering them with this work and this coaching, and you're benefiting financially. So it's a win-win for everyone. So if you want to know more about that, just contact us. There's an email. If you have any questions about what's often called the affiliate program or referral rewards program, contact us about that. If you have more questions about the training, about the program, just contact us. But it's really good to look at our website. So there's a couple more videos there and more information. And so there's lots of information that you can gather first and then start asking your questions and contact us. We'd love to speak with you. So we hope you'll join us. Thank you. And blessings to you for this next year.